G'day everyone, welcome back to a Fossils and Archaeology speed build video. In this video I am building a Therizinosaurus enclosure. It has been so many years since I've done a Fossils and Archaeology speed build video. I thought the way I would do this build would be the same way I did all my other Fossils and Archaeology speed build videos back in the day. So I designed it very similar to how I designed my old enclosures, and it's so good. I'm so glad that this mod is back. So it's been about 4 years since there was a major content update for Fossils and Archaeology, and this is probably the biggest one there has been. This was updating the mod from 1.12 to 1.18, which there's a massive difference in game versions. There's tons of different things in code, tons of different things with biome generation and all this other stuff. And another thing they did is they updated every dinosaur. They remodeled every dinosaur and retextured every dinosaur. The dev team have done such an amazing and impressive job. As soon as the mod dropped, I spent the whole day making an episode 1 survival video for the mod, and it was a big job. I spent probably about 17-18 hours on it. It was quite crazy. And there's a lot of technical difficulties, which is why it took so long, but I managed to get it out before I went to bed, and I'm actually kind of shocked I did. Yeah, so if you want to see some Fossils and Archaeology survival videos, I've posted episode 1 on my channel about 3-4 days ago, and it's been doing really well, so I just want to say thank you for that as well. One of the main reasons I'm making this video right now is because of nostalgia. I made like around 22 videos on Fossils and Archaeology speed builds like a few years ago, and I just haven't touched the mod since because I was tired of playing in 1.12 when there's so many cool new updates coming out. I even, like when I was making those videos, I installed a texture pack that added the new textures from 1.14 into the 1.12 version. But now I don't need to do that because everything is updated and it's great. Okay, I'm going to stop talking about all that and I'm going to talk about the build I'm doing. So this build is in the same build style as I used to do a couple years ago when I was doing Fossils and Archaeology speed build videos. And I would always do massive viewing areas like this, and sometimes having double layered with a glass area down below and a fenced off area at the top, and I sort of wanted to do that for this video. One thing I never did never do it, but most of the time I wouldn't do, is I wouldn't make a little sheltered area for the dinosaurs. So I did that for the theris this time because I felt like they deserved it. And another thing you'll notice I'm doing right now is I placed all the ground by hand, because I just didn't feel like I could get the detail I wanted to with World Edit, so I felt like I had to just place all the blocks by hand. And I feel like I could do this a bit easier with Axiom, but sometimes I feel like Axiom ruins things, so I liked the idea of doing it all by hand. And I think it definitely looks really well. Like the ground looks like it was painted. It's like, I'm really happy with the ground. I didn't make it elevated. I decided to make the ground completely flat. But there are things that poke out like rocks and bushes and stuff, and I'll have trees as well. I've done a pretty basic wall design to keep the theris in. It's tall enough so they don't get out, and I think it's strong enough that they can't break down. The Therizinosaurus is one of my favorite dinosaurs, and it looks beautiful in the remodel and the retexture. And I don't believe I've done a video on them before in the 1.12 version of Fossils and Archaeology, so that's one of the reasons why I did it for this video. I know this isn't related to Fossils and Archaeology or like the real life theri, but one of my favorite things about the theri is that it's such a fun tame in Ark Survival Evolved. I always tame them, and I think I usually try to name it something to do with a turkey because it looks like a giant turkey. It's great. I don't know how many of you know what Ark is or have played Ark before, but it's one of my favorite games and I love the theri. So yeah, that's why I did it for this video. Okay, I'll talk a bit about the trees for a second. You could see I just built a tree and it was so bad that I had to rebuild it. But then I found a design I liked, so I copy and pasted it I copy and pasted it around, and then I made another tree design with granite and azalea, and I liked this tree as well, so I also copied and pasted it around. And these are the two trees that I pasted around the enclosure, and I think they're very pretty. When I was doing a tiny bit of research on the Therizinosaurus habitat, they sort of lived near the water in late Cretaceous in some like forest areas. I think it said in North America and Asia. Can't remember. I looked this up before I did the build, and I did the build yesterday, so I can't really remember. Alright, now we're on to the part of the video where I'm doing the rocks and the foliage, and when I was building this I was all over the place, so the replay camera is also going to be all over the place, so I apologize for that. But for the rocks I just did tough and mossy cobblestone. I thought that was nice. And for the sort of reed bushy area by the water, I did some acacia leaves mixed with, I forgot the name of the wood, but there's a green wood that comes with Fossil in Archaeology, and I used that for cattails with some brown candles on top of the fence posts, and it looks like cattails. I love it. I did big birch leaf bushes around the enclosure as well. I thought that looked nice. I also spammed the enclosure with tons of different foliage like grass and ferns and large ferns. It's a very foliage heavy enclosure. But now we're getting close to the end of the speed build, and I'm about to do the tour, but I really want to quickly say, if you did enjoy this speed build, make sure to subscribe and like for more videos like this, and also more survival videos and other fun stuff. Alright, let's get to the tour. Welcome to the tour of the Therizinosaurus Enclosure. Here we go. Where should I go first? I guess I'll go to the bottom layer first. You get this close and personal view of the theris, and look how cool they are. Look how, I love them. Sorry, I got distracted. I didn't add much detail in the building. It's just got a few chairs and some plants and stuff. Honestly, not that crazy. The main part of the build is the enclosure itself, which I added all the detail to, and it looks great. And I love this view from down here. It'd be better if there's a theri like right here that I could say hello to, but they're all over there. And going upstairs, this is where you get the top view, and this is even better in my opinion. Look at them. Why are they all hanging out together? Look at them all. Maybe they're not pack dinos. I don't believe that. I don't remember reading anything about them being pack dinosaurs, so I don't know why they're all hanging out together, but they seem pretty happy. And I just want to give you a second to look at the enclosure and all the detail I've put into it. Look at that. I'm so happy with this. It's such a pretty enclosure. Another reason why I decided to do a speed build video is because I need to get used to using the new blocks again. These blocks for these trees, I forgot what they're called. Ancient stone. I wanted to learn to use that, and also all these new plants like this one and this one and this one. I just need to learn to use them in different combinations with normal plants, and building an enclosure to learn how to do that before I do it in survival I feel like that's very important. By the way, I just want to say how much I love specifically these plants. Oh, not that one. Look how beautiful they are. Okay, maybe the sun could be in a better spot. Look how great the textures for these plants are. I wish they were in normal Minecraft. Yeah, in 1.12 there was no water plants, so having the seagrass in the water is amazing, and I love it. Another thing that wasn't in 1.12 was moss, so mixing the moss with grass and this, whatever this is called, it just looks so good. I love it. Another detail I added to this enclosure is when I used to work in some wildlife parks, the kangaroos and emus and stuff would do laps along the walls and the ground would be treaded, so there'd be no plants growing along here. So that's what I did here. One thing I tried to do in a lot of my enclosures is I tried to add a walkthrough path, but I didn't do it for this enclosure. I just felt like I wanted to see what it would look like if it was more overgrown and there was no paths selected for the theris, and I think it still does work. Definitely feels more forested, and green, and I do like that. And the theri, I can't stop looking at the theri. They're so pretty. But I think that's where I'm gonna leave this video. I hope you did enjoy, and I just want to say again, I'm so happy that Fossils and Archaeology is back. I can't wait to keep doing more stuff with this. But yeah, I'm gonna end the video there. Bye bye everyone. Take care. See you in the next one. Bye bye.